in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown Podcast.
Give Me My Crown Podcast.
And we back at y'all with another episode of Give Me My Crown Podcast. And as y'all know, we back with a recap of the NCAA weekend and the upcoming championship games and playoffs.
Yes, sir. It was a wild week, boy.
So it was definitely a few upsets yesterday. A few that we didn't see coming.
We did not.
For one, we knew the Michigan State or the Michigan and Ohio State game. I thought Ohio State was going to pull it out, but of course, that is a rivalry game, so that game can always go anyway, no matter who's ranked at what position.
They were a 23-point favorite to win the game. 23 points. And the game looked like they were two teams evenly matched. They were not. They shouldn't have been that way.
And that goes to show you how these rivalry games can go, because, like I said, Ohio State was ranked number what, 3 or 2?
Number 2.
They were ranked number 2, and Michigan wasn't even ranked. And here we go, and Michigan comes out with the win.
Is Michigan going to be ranked this week or no?
I think Michigan is too far down. To even be ranked.
Okay, all right.
I think so. Next, we had another upset. Miami lost.
Shocker. Straight shocker.
To Syracuse.
Yes.
Now, I do give credit to Kyle McCord. He has had a great season with Syracuse. Like, he's putting up yards, but I was not expecting them to beat Miami.
Exactly, man. Like, to me, the game was by the third quarter, I felt like Syracuse was going to win. But in the game, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So
yes, and I was actually surprised. The play calling surprised me at the end of the game. I was surprised they went for a field goal rather than a touchdown from in their own red zone, because they went for the field goal. They were down by 7, went for the field goal, still down by 4. Because at the end of the day, you still have to score a touchdown.
You do.
So, and the way Syracuse's offense was playing, why not at least go for the touchdown? If you don't get it, you're getting the ball back, or if you don't get it, you're giving them the ball inside their own 5-yard line.
I agree. I feel like Cam Ward didn't use his legs enough in that game, especially at the end.
Yeah,
I feel like there were lanes for him to run, and he did not run.
Yeah, I agree. Who else lost? We talked about this one a couple weeks ago. Texas beat Texas A&M.
Yep.
And it was not a blowout. It was a pretty close game.
I've been rocking with Texas A&M all year, and I told you Texas A&M play hard against ranked teams.
Yes, and the quarterback they got he's pretty good. Marcel Reed, he's pretty good. And he can use his feet, which makes him more deadly.
Yep.
So I think that one was a good game. Who else? Oregon beat Washington. It's not really a shocker.
Nope.
BYU beat Houston. BYU that was a big win for them because they lost 2 straight.
It was.
So that was a big win for them.
Notre Dame's game was good too. Like, that was a really good game.
Yes, who did they play? They played USC.
Yes.
That was a high-scoring game.
It was, man. And it was good into the fourth quarter, man. Then Notre Dame ran a 99-yard interception back for a touchdown, and then ran a 101-yard touchdown back. Crazy.
See, the thing about Notre Dame is good. Notre Dame is in the playoffs now.
They are, definitely.
Because season over, I think, yesterday was last week of the season. Yep. And they don't have a conference championship game to lose.
Correct.
So they're at number 4 now. If every other team, or no matter what happens, it's almost impossible for them to drop 8 spots out of the top.
I agree.
The top 12 teams. So I think they're going to at this point they're a shoe-in in the playoffs.
Yep.
SMU keeps winning. They beat Cal yesterday. The Alabama-Auburn game was pretty close, but once again, that's another rivalry game.
It is.
They always play, no matter how good or sorry one of those teams are, they always have a tough matchup.
I agree.
Tulane lost to Memphis. That was big for them because if they would have won, they would have had a chance to play in their conference championship and then make the playoffs.
To me, if Tulane had won, right, they would have been in that 13-12 range as far as ranked teams now.
Yes.
Because with all the losses, they would have moved up dramatically.
Yeah, I have to check the rankings. If they're in their I have to see if they're in their conference championship. I think they still might have a very, very slim chance.
Okay.
Boise State won again. They beat Oregon State.
Yep.
And again, Ashton Jentry, 226 yards.
That's right, man. Future Cowboy running back. That's right.
Colorado beat Oklahoma State. Colorado needed that win. I don't think Colorado will get into the playoffs at this point because they lost that game. The game they lost to Kansas killed their chances.
It did. Yep.
Because if they would have won that game, then they would be playing in the conference championship game, which then should have gotten them in the top 12 by now. But we won't see them. The Ole Miss beat Mississippi State. Ole Miss is going to need some help too, because Ole Miss is like right on the brink, so they're going to need some help to get in.
Doesn't Colorado have like a slim chance? I saw something. It was like it's like a bunch of teams have to lose, bunch of teams have to win.
Yeah.
Some weird scenario.
You got Georgia and Georgia Tech. That was a game.
Man, surprisingly.
8 overtimes?
Yeah.
Like, that was ridiculous.
But what does it say about Georgia, though?
I don't know. See, Georgia, from my perspective, I don't think Georgia is the dominant team that they've been the past couple of years. I think they're a good team. But
What's the problem, though? Is it quarterback play? Is it they got top 5 talent?
I think it's quarterback play. He's turning the ball over way too much because the defense is still a Georgia defense.
That's true.
The defense is still there. But Carson Beck, once he started throwing all these interceptions, that's when things started kind of turning around, at least for their offense.
Yeah. Because
for the most part, everybody else is playing pretty good. In this game, he didn't have any interceptions, but I think once he started, because if we look at the beginning of the season, Georgia was dominating. But then once Carson Beck got into that mode, we started throwing interceptions. That's where the offense kind of took a turn. And like I said, this game, he had 5 touchdowns and no interceptions, so that was good for this game. But it'll be interesting to see if he can carry that on into the conference championship and then the playoffs.
I agree.
Who else did we have? Tennessee beat Vanderbilt. Not really a shocker. Tennessee is right there on the brink. They're as of now they're in.
They're in. They are.
South Carolina and Clemson. South Carolina beat Clemson.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, Clemson still has a chance to get into the playoffs
because they're in the ACC championship, right?
Yes. Yep. And they're going to automatic bid.
Yep.
If they win, but they got to play an SMU team, as a strong SMU team.
It is.
Who else? Penn State blew Maryland out.
They did, yeah. That wasn't the game.
Like you said, Notre Dame game was good. Who else? Arizona State beat Arizona.
They did.
That's one of the games that Colorado needed Arizona State to lose.
Yeah. They showed up to play. They showed up. Arizona State showed up to play.
Indiana beat Purdue. That wasn't really a shocker. But we seen last week when Indiana played a good team, we saw what happened.
Yeah.
So they will be interesting moving forward because now there's no more slack. Every team from this point on moving forward is a playoff contender.
Exactly. Yep.
What else? Iowa State beat Kansas State.
Yeah, they did.
That was a big one. I think Iowa State needed that.
Offense though is not where it should be to play.
I agree.
If they get into the top 12 teams, they're not going to do well.
I agree because when you start getting to them top 12 teams, like your offense has to be top tier.
Correct. Yep.
Because if it's not, because even if your defense is good, you have to be able to score the ball.
Yep.
Against these top teams. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go into the top 25. I believe that was just released. I think it's the top 25.
I got it up now.
Let's see.
No shocker, Oregon State's won.
Yeah, Oregon's won. Obviously, we know that because they're the only remaining undefeated team.
Correct.
Texas moved back up to 2, which I get because Ohio State lost. Penn State back up to number 3. Notre Dame number 4. Georgia 5. Tennessee 6. Surprised Ohio State only dropped to 7. That surprised me. But then when you look at it, it's also like they were doing the same thing with Alabama. When Alabama's losing, Alabama's not dropping out of the top 10.
You think Georgia should be at 5?
Huh?
You think Georgia should be at 5?
I don't think it's put them at 5. I think they could. I think SMU could, because SMU. How many games did SMU lost? They had 1 loss or 2 loss team.
SMU got 1 loss. That's why I was saying. I think SMU should be higher.
I do. I think SMU should be higher. You got Indiana at number 9, Boise State at 10, Alabama 11, and Arizona State 5. I don't think Alabama should be at number 11.
No. They're the only 3-loss team that's in.
Yes. So I do have a problem with that, because even though you even push them above Miami, and you push because you got Miami at 14, you got South Carolina at 13.
I know.
So I think I don't agree with Miami's ranking right now.
No, I don't either.
With 2 losses, I feel like they should be a lot higher, but they're going to need some help to get into the.
Miami's quality of losses, though, have been bad. Like the loss to Syracuse is a bad loss,
Yes, I agree.
Well, Alabama got bad losses too. Yeah, you can't make this up.
So then, if we move into the championship game, so ACC championship, you got SMU and Clemson.
I want Clemson to win, man. I'm rooting for Clemson.
I'm rooting for SMU that game. I just don't like Clemson. So I'm rooting for SMU that game. If Clemson wins, Clemson will jump up. If SMU wins, I think an SMU win gives Miami a better chance of getting into the playoffs.
I agree.
Because if SMU loses, that only puts SMU at 2 losses. So where do you put them? How far do you drop them at 2 losses?
The way they're doing it, SMU is going to fall out of the top 12 if they lose.
I think so. I think so too. Big Ten championship, you got Oregon and Penn State. That's going to be a good game. I don't think either one of those teams that lose, they'll still be in the playoffs.
Still in, yep.
They're essentially fighting for a bye round or a bye week.
Yep.
That's all they're fighting for. So it almost makes you wonder if Penn State wins. Will that push Penn State to number 1 overall, or do you think Texas would jump to 1 and then Penn State would move to 2?
Penn State to 1.
That's I feel the same, especially if they beat the number 1 team. Then you got Big 12 championship, Arizona State, Iowa State. Whichever one of them wins. I think that's the one that'll become interesting. If Arizona State wins, I think Arizona State will be in. If Iowa State wins, I think it's going to be hard.
Whichever team wins will be in. Whichever team loses, in my opinion, will be out.
Which one, Big 12 championship?
Yep. Arizona State is at 12 right now. If they lose, they out.
I don't know if Iowa State win will put them in though.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I think it'll be tough.
They at 16 now. Well, it will put them in because they'll win the conference championship.
Well, according to the analysts, only 5.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was reading yesterday. According to the analysts, they give 5 conference champions an automatic bid. Obviously, the Big Ten, the ACC, SEC, I think it's the Midwest, and then they're saying, and then they got options of who else to choose. They can choose Big 12, they can choose AAC, they can choose whoever they want to. Apparently,
here we go.
So it's gonna make it interesting. The SEC championship, Texas and Colorado, or Texas and Georgia.
Yeah.
Do you think if Georgia loses,
they out?
That was Georgia at 3 losses, do you think they drop from 5 out of the top 12?
But this is the thing, though. All right, Alabama got 3 losses, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Lose to the number 2 team in the nation, that shouldn't drop you that far.
In the conference championship, too.
Yeah, so in my eyes, they should drop to like 12 or 11.
I agree.
Yeah.
AAC, you got Tulane and Army.
Tulane.
I think Tulane will pull that one out. It's going to be funny because the AAC is one they were talking about where they may get an automatic bid. So
no,
not an automatic buy, an automatic bid into the playoffs.
No,
that's what they're saying.
Okay,
that is what they're saying. Then you got Conference USA, Jacksonville State, and Western Kentucky. That one is really not going to matter when it comes to playoffs.
That's true.
The Mountain West is Boise State, UNLV. If Boise State loses, it's going to be hard for them to get in.
That's going to be a good game, though.
Yes. I want to see them in because I want to see what Ashton Jentry can do against these top-tier teams.
We've seen what he can do against a top-tier team, though.
We've seen him play.
Yeah, he still put a whole bunch of yards.
Because he's averaging over 200, or either right at or over 200 yards a game.
Ridiculous, man.
Then you got, what else? You got Sunbelt. That one really don't play a difference into the playoffs. But it's going to be interesting to see. Who do you think right now has the best team to go all the way?
I'm gonna hate to say this, man. Justin called it at the beginning of the year. Right now, Oregon looks like that juggernaut. And then, secondly, I hate to say this team too. Penn State. I hate to say Penn State.
I'm thinking Penn State. The only reason I say Penn State is because they got a top tier defense, and they got I'm not gonna say a great offense. They got a good offense.
The run game, man.
Yes, they have to stick to their roots though.
And then they gonna pass it, throw it to the tight end.
Alar.
Yeah,
not Alar. What's his name?
I don't know his name.
Tyler Warren.
I just know every time they throw it to him,
yes, it is a catch.
Yep.
I think it'll be interesting. Like that game is going to be interesting. I think the Big Ten championship game is going to be interesting because that's going to tell us, I think, who's the stronger team out of those two and who's going to be the dominant team in the playoffs. I
agree. I think the bye plays a big part though because it gives your team time to rest and get healthy.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about Heisman.
Man, we ain't got to talk about this. We know who's going to win that thing. We know
Ashton Jentry is having one of the best seasons ever.
Man, he won.
On the flip side, playing devil's advocate.
Oh, here we go.
I think the second loss for Cam Ward, I think that might have pushed him out, but his numbers are still there. Again, he's losing, but the numbers are still there. You also got Travis Hunter. They're losing. They have 3 losses.
Right.
He had an interception and 3 touchdowns yesterday, Friday.
Listen, that boy is he's not gonna win, right? But he should win. What he's done this year is unprecedented. Like it's something we've never seen before.
Yeah. I like him for Heisman, but I also don't think that the analysts can just ignore the season that Ashton Jentry is having. Like he's having one of the seasons almost like we've never seen before.
Yeah, I mean he played 90% of the snaps. 90%. That's crazy.
Who are you talking about? I'm talking about Ashton Jentry.
I'm talking about Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's a case for both. Like
the
the season Ashton Jentry had has never been done. Like he averaging 200 yards a game, just about. It's crazy. All right,
Yes.
Travis Hunter, 90% of the snaps, teams don't even throw it to his side of the field. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then he go on offense, score touchdowns.
Yeah. And I think by them not throwing him the ball, I think that kind of hurts his chances because on defense he's not getting. Obviously, he got an interception Friday, but he's not getting those top though. He's not getting a lot of plays. He's not getting a lot of tackles. He's not getting a lot of deflections. Not getting a lot of interceptions because they're not throwing him the ball.
But
So do you penalize him for that in that aspect for his numbers, or do you look at the fact like, hey, he's so good, they're not even throwing the ball to his side?
Exactly. Deion said it best. If a corner got a whole bunch of tackles, that means the receiver got a whole bunch of yards on him.
That's true.
Hey, this boy has shut down one side of the field. He was the Rail Reavers in college.
Yes.
He shut it down. That you threw it his way, an interception or a deflection.
Yep.
Offense, we know he can do as a receiver. Yeah.
Do you think Shador will be in top 5 talks? Do you think he'll be a Heisman finalist?
Excuse me. No, he won't be. But he should be. He will be a top draft pick. But,
I think so.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting if his game translates to the NFL. That's going to be interesting.
I think it does.
My only problem with him, with Shador, and I like Shador, I think he's a little too cocky sometimes. And I think that could be his downfall in the NFL.
Man, when you've been working out with Tom Brady since you've been 12, you're going to be cocky, man. Like,
I mean, I agree, but I'm saying that could be his downfall in the NFL.
we'll see, man. I feel like you got to have that swagger. It wasn't a downfall for Cam Newton, was it?
No, but look at Caleb Williams.
Exactly. My point exactly.
Look at Caleb Williams.
Caleb, that's different, man. That's coaching. That ain't even him. It's coaching. Watch next year when they fire this coach and get a new coach in there. Watch what happens.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, you'll see.
I don't know. Cam Newton,
man.
If you talk about Cam Newton was just a dog.
That's true. And the Carolina don't show no respect, though. That's another topic.
I agree.
For another day. Stay on college.
I agree. What else? Who do you think is going to be the first quarterback drafted?
I can't say who it's going to be based off of it's going to be team need. Las Vegas is going to be Shador. If it's Carolina, it's Cam Ward. So
I don't know. If Carolina has a top pick, I don't see them drafting a quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to say who I see them drafting. Huh?
Who you drafting?
I see them drafting a defensive player, maybe Malachi Sparks.
That's a good pick.
Or Travis Hunter.
Okay.
I don't see them draft because if you look at Bryce Young since he came back from being benched, he's actually playing pretty good.
Here we go.
I'm just saying, look at the numbers.
You want to Bryce Young train?
Huh?
Then you believe in Bryce Young. Okay.
You said now I believe in Bryce Young?
Yeah, you believe in him now.
I don't know if I believe him. I'm definitely rooting for him.
Okay, all right. We'll see.
So let's switch gears a little more to the NFL. Do you think Cowboys would draft a quarterback, or do you think they'll go running back or defense?
He can't be quarterback. You pay that too much money.
I agree.
So
where do you think they'll go?
O-line, D-line.
Do you think Ashton Jentry will be a top pick?
Yes.
You think he'll be the first running back?
If he's available, Jerry will take him.
You think he'll be the first running back?
Either one or two.
Who do you think? What other running backs do you see going above him?
If you asked me this question a week ago, I could have told you. I'm not sure, but the only reason why teams in the NFL will stray away from him is because the wear and tear on his body from the carries he's taking in college.
That's true, because he's taking
a lot.
Yesterday, he carried the ball 30-some times.
Exactly, man. You can't do that in college and then in NFL. What he gonna have? 5 good years in NFL to be done? Like,
yeah, that's true. But on the positive side of that, though, he has not been injured.
That's true, but it's still a lot of hits.
That's true. Do you think? Obviously, Travis Hunter will go I think Travis Hunter will go top 10. Like you said, I think it depends on a team's needs. Because like if you got somebody like the Giants number one, the Giants will get a quarterback.
He going top 5, man.
I think so. Like I said, I think it depends on team's needs. Do you think if at this point it looks like the Giants may have the number 1 pick at this point? I think they'll probably go quarterback. If they go quarterback, do you think they'll go Shedeur? Or try to get Shedeur?
I say Shedeur because not only the football aspect, but the marketability.
Oh yeah, because what'll come with Deion? Do you think Shiloh will get drafted?
I think so. I think Shiloh would be like a 3rd or 4th round though.
Yeah, I think Shiloh would actually be a pretty decent pickup, like a late pickup for a team, because he's not a top tier safety, but I think he can be turned into a top tier safety.
I agree. He's still got some more developmental things that he got to work on.
Yes.
But as far as like hitting ain't one of them. He can hit.
Yeah, he can hit. You work on his coverage a little bit, and I think he has the potential to be pretty good.
I agree. Like I think in the NFL he'll be a strong safety starting out. You know what I'm saying? Like
strong safety or either nickel.
Correct. Yep.
Who else? What other teams need? There's a lot of teams I feel like they need a quarterback.
To me, Shedeur only goes to Las Vegas or New York. Those are the markets he fits. Travis Hunter as well, New York. Like I feel like if you think about this, man, the Jets. Don't worry about quarterback, but you put Sauce Gardner on one side and Travis Hunter on the other side, shut down right there.
But what position do you have him playing in the NFL?
Corner. Corner.
Because you can have him playing both ways in certain aspects, but he can't play 90% of the snaps in the NFL.
NFL different, man. That's a different world. So I feel like he got to play one position. Every now and then, special plays, he might go out there.
That's what I think. I think you could throw him in at like wide receiver or wherever you have him. I think you could throw him in. Say you got him playing mostly defense. I think you throw him in on offense like in a wildcat or something like that, or even a return man.
I agree with that. Yeah, he can be a return man, have a special package for him. Yeah.
Do you think so? You don't think the Jets will go after a quarterback?
I don't think so. Not this year.
What about the That's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks.
I mean, technically, Cowboys need a quarterback. I mean, we're being real, but we're not going quarterback.
Do you think the Saints will go after a quarterback, or do you think they'll stick with Derek Carr?
They should. I think the Saints should almost pull the Falcons. You got Derek Carr for another year, bring in the quarterback, sit a year behind him, and let him learn the game, and then he goes out there.
I think that would be a good idea also with the Browns, because Deshaun Watson is done in Cleveland, I think. But I think if you bring in another quarterback and let another quarterback sit behind maybe Jameis Winston, I think because Jameis Winston, he has thrown a lot of interceptions in his career, but that's just dumb mistakes. Jameis Winston, if it wasn't for the mistakes, Jameis Winston would be a great quarterback.
Remember, he couldn't see; he had to get LASIK.
I know. But I'm saying, if it weren't for the interceptions, he would be a great quarterback.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see. I think that the draft is going to be interesting, or actually, I guess the rest of the season, because obviously, like we said, the order that they're picking is going to determine how they finish out the season.
It is, man.
Because a lot of these teams have different needs.
That's true.
So it'll be interesting. Anything else we missed as far as college or NFL or anything?
No, I don't think so, man. I think it's going to be a wild ride for the college football playoffs.
Yes.
I think it's going to be. It may be a shocker team out of the 12 that win it that we're not thinking. That's the reason why I don't want to see Alabama get in, because I feel like Alabama can make a run at the right time.
I agree. I do think I don't know if Jalen Milroe can. I don't know if Jalen Milroe can do it though. I think he has the legs. I don't know if he can. In a big game, he seems to have an issue throwing the ball.
He can get hot at the right time. That's the problem I got. I see. Like he will get hot in a playoff scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I completely disagree.
Yeah,
because it is Alabama, so you got to factor that in there.
Exactly.
But yeah, we'll definitely be back to after. I think we'll definitely come back after the conference championships and give our take on the selection for the playoffs. and we may even come back on before and say who we think is going to get the bid before they release it.
Yeah, I agree.
But and as we always say, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.